wanted to tell you that sometime if you're waiting for a blessing, you're waiting for a miracle, sometimes you have to take yourself away from your village, your hometown, who you're surrounding yourself with, because the people that you surround yourself with, that's your village. So if you're hanging around with 5 smokers, you'll be the 6th. If you're hanging around with 5 thieves, you'll be the 6th. All right, so let's talk about when Jesus healed the blind man in Bethsaida in Mark chapter 8 verse 22. You remember the blind man that he healed? This blind man, he spit on his eye twice, not once but twice. We've never seen any miracle that Jesus had to do it touch somebody twice, or even ask. When the first time that he touched the man and spit on his eye, he said, "Can you see?" And then the first time the man said, "I can see, but people look like trees, they're walking." So he touched him again and he said, "Now I can see." But the importance of that message, because people were saying this miracle is so messy, so you have to go through the mess. But actually the thing about this miracle, it says Jesus led the man out of the village to heal him. He couldn't heal him in that village because he was too close to his hometown. And these people in the village are saying, who is this guy? Think he is this guy Jesus? Isn't that Mary's son? Isn't that the carpenter from down the street? This little guy come back over here with all this wisdom and healing and talking so fancy. But he's just a mere carpenter. So the people were offended by him, and they did not believe that he was a healer or he could perform miracles. So if you have too many against you, then we have a problem. There's not going to be that flow of your anointing and your healing unless enough people in that town believe. There's not going to be a healing. So the most important thing in that passage says when they said Jesus, they brought this blind man to Jesus. Jesus literally took him out of the village. He said he held his hand and led him outside on the outskirts of the village so that he could heal him, because he knew that if he stayed in that town that's close to home, the miracle wouldn't work. And you see, he had to touch him twice. He had to do something peculiar, right, for this. And after he healed him, normally when Jesus healed people, he'll tell them, go and tell everybody about God, that he's done this for you, go sin no more. Know what he said to the blind man after the blind man said that he could see? He says, don't even go back to that village, bro. Just keep on going. Don't go back to the village. Same like in real life, in the physical. Some of us, we're hanging out with some people that don't believe in us. They don't believe in a healing for us. They might see us from how we were in the past. Like for instance, maybe in our town, we had this guy that we used to go to school with that was super poor, and he didn't have any shoes, so he was barefoot. So we would have called him, let's say, Barefoot Chris. So then Chris comes, and Chris is a doctor now, and he comes back in town, and everybody's like, "Hey, have you seen Chris? You know that Chris is a doctor?" And I'm like, you would say, "Which Chris? Chris that used to come to school barefoot Chris?" Like, yeah, he's a doctor now. So it's the same with us. Who is your village? Who are you hanging around with? Are these people like uplifting you, edifying you, believing in you, or are they just pulling you down, right? So sometimes if you want a miracle, you have to step away from that zip code, step away from that village, so you can get your healing, right? Yeah, so be blessed. Have an awesome day.